If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe now. Click the bell icon next to it and select all to ensure you don't miss any of my latest videos. It has been hundreds of years, about 600 years since this book was discovered, but even now many people are unable to put the complete information related to this book in front of the world. Many scholars, many popular cryptographers, many researchers, many physicists, many computer scientists, everyone has researched about this book, but none of them have been able to decode the information related to this book. But now a researcher from Germany has finally decoded this most mysterious book completely and said that he has learned everything about it. Is it true? Has the world-famous Voynich Manuscript been completely decoded? Has the mystery of this book been completely solved? Let's learn about it in complete detail in this video. So why not? Let's get into the video. This Viennese manuscript is a 240-page medieval codex. Some of its pages are now slightly damaged, but when it was initially discovered, it was in good condition. It contains a lot of information in a strange language, and along with it, there are various drawings. In those drawings, we see strange plans, various astrological symbols, and also drawings of naked women everywhere. There are not one or two, not even a very large number. So basically, everyone was curious to know what was in this book. Could it be the reason for the drawings of naked women? Many people have started researching this. Many cryptologists, FBI operatives, respected medievalists, mathematical and scientific scholars, and not only them but also skilled linguists. They are able to decode languages. They all started researching this book. But none of them found a single basic clue or a single basic information related to this book. That is, no one is able to decode it completely. The appearance of this book is also very different. It is a 15th century book, so it is a little different. All the pages in this book are made of baven calf skin, not some normal paper. So all this was written, drawn, and mentioned on that calf skin. Looking at all this, it may seem like a scene from a science fiction movie, but not completely. But basically, I said that this book contains nude pictures of women, right? I said that there are illustrations. But there is one special thing about them, that is, wherever you look, women are seen in bathtubs. Bathtubs. Bathtubs have windows in them, and bathtubs are in the shape of an ovary, and bathstuffs are in the shape of a pipe. You can see that those plants are very different. Their leaves are very different and very, very big. I have never seen such trees anywhere on Earth before, even in the Amazon forest. And there are also drawings of some strange animals. There is a creature that looks like a reptilian sea creature, but it is not like a normal creature. It is like a dragon. It is like a crossbreed with a horse, and it eats all those leaves. So there was a kind of opinion that some tea plantation owner wrote this book. At one time, when it came to the astrological section, it had a very large number of pages, and there were very large charts in it, and all those charts were folded, and if we opened those charts, we would see charts of the night sky, and there were very complicated constellations in it. Again, there were drawings of naked women in it, that is, we could see them holding those stars, and they seemed to be coming, so they were mentioned everywhere, and almost everywhere they were not wearing clothes. Some people said that this is what this astrological part is all about. The most translatable section of the book, because some of the constellations are very clear in this, for example Pisces, Taurus, Sagittarius, all of them are very clear, but all of them are a little strange if you compare them with what is normal, then but anyway, overall, this is the only logical section. If you compare everything and then come to the logical section, all the women are without clothes, they are floating, swimming, drowning and taking rest, but no matter what they do, they are in bathtubs, and various tubes are also visible to us, and those bathtubs are sometimes in the shape of a circuit. Sometimes they are coming out of the ground like a hole, and they are seen in pipes like a winding river, and if you look at all of these baths, overall, they are the reproductive organs of women. Many scientists have said that it seems to represent the system. Basically, this section is very popular for the entire manuscript because it is still very obvious to many people. So that may be the reason. So for all those who have been studying this book for many years, there is one doubt. That is why the author of this book is so interested in women, and why does he constantly show all of them in bathtub? What is the meaning behind it? This kind of question has come up a lot, but no one has been able to find an answer to it. And finally, whatever the pharmacological section is, in it we have this wine cheese which is mentioned. This wine cheese section is written from left to right, not right to left. Of course, even if no one has officially decoded it, it has at least one meaning. There is a classification, which means that what researchers are saying about this is that a particular structure is seen in this section, and based on this, we can know at least a little information about the language. The researchers said overall that there are 20 to 25 different letters in this language, which means that there are 26 letters in English, while there are 52 letters in Telugu. Similarly, there are 20 to 25 letters in this language, but they are unable to fit those letters into a particular word, sentence, or paragraph. A person named Elizabeth Friedman, who analyzes such crypts a lot, said one thing about this in 1962, that is, those who try to translate this book will finally get only frustration, not translations, out of some tubes. That is, they may have tried for some reason, but what he said is true, but since no one knows the real truth about this Voynich manuscript, theories about this book have arisen in a huge way. Some people say that this book was written by some philosophers in a secret code and only they can understand it and no one else can understand it. Some people say, and of course my favorite theory is this too, that aliens wrote this book. In fact, if you mention Voynich plus aliens on Google, you will get many articles, which means that many people are showing a lot of interest about this and many people accept this theory because they say that this language is not understood by anyone on Earth who cannot decode it. So the language in this book was written not by people on Earth, but by people from another planet, aliens, saying that aliens wrote it. And they say that the people who were able to draw and mention all the star charts in this book so perfectly at that time were not people on Earth but people from another planet. However, there is another theory regarding it, which is that this Viennese manuscript was written not by people on Earth but by aliens. Even though those aliens came to Earth and wrote it, that is why they say that this book was found on Earth. The theory they say is that in 1400 years, a UFO crashed on Earth and humans did not have the technology to repair it. So those aliens understood that. So for that reason, with the intention of how to spend the rest of their lives on Earth, they wrote all their knowledge in a manuscript and gave it to someone. Maybe if they decoded it, that is, if they understood it in their language, we would be able to communicate with them. With that in mind, they keep saying that aliens could have written that book on Earth. No one knows how true it is. After trying to decode this book for a few hundred years, all of them failed completely. After that, at a time when no one could accept any theory, a person in the year 2020 announced that he had reported this book completely. He is a German Egyptologist, his name is Rainer Hardig. He said that the wine cheese is actually based on Hebrew. He said that the text in this text is a Semitic language, which means that the European people of the past used this language and they also drew all the illustrations in this book. He said that he gave us 3 options, namely either Arabic, Aramaic, or Hebrew. One of these 3 languages, the languages mentioned in this book, and basically these 3 languages were used a lot by European scholars of the past, that is, they spoke that language. So what he did was he tried to connect the Voynich characters in Hebrew and found a connection. When he found that connection, it was fixed that it was in the Hebrew language. He first tried to translate a few words and then he translated a few sentences. But finally he said that it would take many years to translate the entire manuscript. He said that he could not do it right now. And what he said was that it was in gibberish language at most. But the experts in ancient Hebrew said that what Hardy cracked was not that convincing. In fact, he said that there were not 1 or 2 holes in his translation, but more than 14 holes. Basically what Hardy did was that it had to be decoded anyway. He wanted to inform the whole world and to be written in golden letters in history as the one who informed about it. He took some liberties while decoding the language. In order to get that meaning, he made some changes. That is, he made some changes. That is, he shouldn't do that in that ancient language. If you do that, it will also be corrupted. So scientists dismissed it as wrong. Basically, if you look at the past few decades, more than 60 wine solutions have been published, but all of them have been debunked. They are also not true. In 2019, a research associate named David Chesser did research on this book on behalf of the University of Bristol. He said that whatever language is in this book has disappeared over time. What he said is that it is somewhere between ancient English and ancient Spanish. It may have been a language used before them, and later between modern English and modern Spanish. He said that it might be the language used that we missed, so if we could learn about it, then we could easily decode it, he said. And when he said this, it could be social media, it could be national media, it could be worldwide media. Everyone started discussing it, but just as fast as this news spread, this issue was also debunked and his research was completely dismissed. They said that the theory he had said was completely false. They said that it was not possible for it to be true. So he was still embarrassed and found nothing else. And after that, many more people kept researching about it. Every day, someone said something about it and said that it was wrong and scientists confirmed it again. This is what happened. In 2017, a television writer, Nicholas Gibbs, came on international news and said that he had solved the mystery of this book. Gibbs believed that the book was a women's health manual, and whatever language there is, it is a new language created from words taken from Latin abbreviations. Many people accepted the theory of the women's health book at that time because wherever we look, things like ovaries are seen. Then there are various trees and various leaves. So if you take them, you will be healthy. Then there is the meaning of stars, planetary systems. At that time we should not do that. At this time our elders believe that we should not do this. They may have mentioned them. Then we see very clearly about the women's health system. All these are ovaries. So based on them, it can be understood that it is also women's related. Then there are many places where tubes are seen. They may have mentioned things like test tube babies. All these are seen in it. So obviously all this is women's related. So this is everyone accepted the Women as Health Manual, but no one accepted the Latin abbreviation idea because many Latin experts dismissed all his translations as nonsense. There was no big shock in this because Gibbs basically had no credibility. He just went on a television show. He had no historical experience. There he started reading it. What did the TV producers think? If they wanted to get ratings like our TV 3x3, they would bring him in and make him sit down. So his theory was also rejected by scientists as wrong. Then the Hebrew theory came out and they said that it was not there either. But in 2016, two computer scientists said that they had decoded the starting sentences of that book and they said that it was in Hebrew. But do you know how they decoded it? Google Translate. By typing, they found out through Google Translate, and based on what they found out, the first sentence of the manuscript says that she made recommendations to the priest man of the house and me and people. So many people accepted this, but the majority of the scientists, the majority of the Hebrew experts, the majority of the researchers did not accept it. They said that they already had a lot of knowledge about the Hebrew language, so that translation did not come even close. So even then, no one understood what language was in that vintage manuscript. But what is the language in that book? No. The mystery of that book, basically why was it created, from whom was it created, from whom did it pass into whose hands? It is also a complete mystery. That too has been completely solved. Nothing. According to the carbon rating tests of historians at the University of Arizona, this book, some people say that it is from the 15th century, that is, from 1340, but many scholars have confirmed that this book was written sometime between 1404 and 1438. And if you look at the style of illustrations in this book, the pigments in it, the paints in it, the calf skin in it, all these scientists say that it may have come from northern Italy. And this Voynich first appears in historical records. But at the end of the 16th century, at that time, the Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II bought this book, and in fact there we also see the signature of the imperial physician, which is clearly visible at the bottom of the first page. So after that it changed hands. Then it was bought by an alchemist named George Brush, who was from Prague. He tried to decode a lot about it, but he didn't understand what it was. He understood that there was some medieval detailed information in it, but he didn't understand what it was about. He gave the book to an Egyptian hieroglyph expert who was in Rome and asked him to decode what was in it. He tried very hard to decode the book, but he couldn't decode it. All he said was that the manuscript was very, very mysterious manuscript. No one could decode it. After that, the book disappeared for 250 years. Finally, a man bought the book. His name was Wilfred Voynich. He was a Polish book dealer. He bought the book in 1912. After Voynich, he devoted his whole life to decoding the book. But he couldn't decode it, so he remembered that he named the book the Voynich Manuscript. Some people believe that it is said that he wrote the manuscript to make a lot of money, that is, to create a mystery and sell a lot of prints. But carbon dating tests proved this theory wrong. Later, this book was given to the Rare Book and Manuscript Library in A, and since then it has been there, creating a lot of imagination, a lot of curiosity, and a lot of controversies. However, after many years of research, one theory that some people have put forward is that basically this book is a fake story. They say that it is actually a fake book created by a medieval scam artist named Edward Kelly to deceive the emperor of that time, Rudolph. Basically, he created some fake books and through them he deceived the kings or the people of that region. He is said to have spoken to angels, that angels told him many things, that he wrote all the information that angels told him in books, and he is making money by selling books and saying that it is angel language. So no one understands what is actually in that book. So many historians say that he has scammed some books before that and say that this is the book he wrote. But how much of that is true in that, we do not know completely. So at the moment, the mystery of this Voynich manuscript remains an unsolved mystery. Many people are still trying to decode this book. It could be computer experts, it could be ancient language experts, everyone, but no matter how much they try, it is not possible for them. So let's see if in the future we will find a perfect explanation for this Voynich manuscript. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.